started our working day at the Ministry for Foreign Trade and Economy, where I had meeting with my dear colleague. We discussed, I would say, all aspects of our economic cooperation. The next meeting was at the Parliament, where I met with Mr. Speaker. We discussed interparliamentary relations. We discussed Georgian reforms. And I should say that Mr. Speaker was quite well informed about our reforms. We discussed how to make those reforms accessible to Egyptian lawmakers. And that's why Mr. Speaker decided to send a group of Egyptian deputies to Georgia. Next meeting was with my dear friend and colleague Mohammed. Here we went through each and every aspect of our bilateral relations, because we are very close to strategic partnership, and now we have to add economic component to it too. It's not for foreigners to make comments about your internal political life or agenda of your reforms. You cannot compare a country of 4.5 million people to a country of 85 million people. It's a different magnitude. When we're speaking about spirit of reforms, we can compare. When we're speaking about speed of reforms, we cannot compare it. The group of reformers which Georgian people brought to power in 2003, they decided that there shall be a couple of very important steps which will transform Georgia from failed state to an effective one. One was collection of taxes. Nobody bothered to pay taxes in Georgia. Our budget was a disaster. Our civil service was one of the least effective one can imagine. There was no normal health care. There was no education. There was no electricity. Georgia was dark. And there was a police which was the biggest criminal group. The main business of police was to participate in extortion of money. My president and the group of reformers who formed the first Georgian reform government, they started with total reform of the tax services, tax collection services, of customs offices and law enforcing agencies. We have been having outstanding political relationship. There are hundreds of specific places we can mutually benefit from cooperation, and still the figures of our trade are very small. This is why I met all my colleagues here, and we are working on a very precise action plan how to bring that trade and the economic cooperation to a level which will correspond to the level of our political relationship. First, using Georgia's transit capabilities. Second, creation of joint ventures in different fields. Third important one, cooperating and creating joint ventures to work in the third countries.